Hey, this is Keith Kelch with How to Build Your Own Home. And I want to talk about bids. How to get a lot of bids is great. How to get some great bids. And this is something that a lot of owner builders just don't know. They jump into the market and they're really lost when it comes to that. And I want to give you a couple of piece of advice. First of all, I want to tell you the dirty secret, the dirty truth, that a lot of builders, a lot of general contractors are lazy. I know this from my own personal experience. You're going to be asking close to 45 different subcontractors, just subcontractors alone, not supply houses, but subcontractors to bid on a new build. And that's a lot of work, to be honest with you. Let's say you've been through it 2, 3, 5, 20, 30 times you've built that many homes. You typically don't want to go through that process over and over and over again. So they typically will send the bids out to one, maybe two, but typically one person to use over and over again. And as a result, over the years, they become numb to what the real market is. They don't know what the piece rate is for framing a home. They don't know what the cost is for putting on stucco on a home. They get lost in that, where the particular market is at any given moment. And so it's easy for a general contractor to slide into using the same old people over and over again. That's called the good old boys club. The good old boys club is where people get lazy and they use the same old people over and over again, and they create their own little niche. And you think you're getting a market rate home, or you're thinking you're getting a great cost per square foot, but you're not. That's because a lot of general contractors are lazy. I'm going to give you 3 principles, 3 things I want you to consider when you are getting bids for a job. I'm up here in the attic and it's kind of hot, so I want to talk fast and get this done because it's hot out here. Networking. Now, I'm a general contractor. I have a big footprint. You type in my name, Kelch Construction, I come to the top of the search engines. It's taken me quite some time to get there. So I have people constantly knocking on my door asking for bids. Today, when I was preparing for this post, I had 2 people call me asking if they can submit bids. I said, sure. I sent them an email with a couple of jobs I'm bidding out right now. And it's great. It's a great footprint to have. As an owner builder, you don't have that. So you need to create as big of a footprint as you possibly can. One thing I strongly recommend owner builders do is put up a sign immediately on the lot or home site where you are going to build. Put a sign up there. Say, job or building to come, the Joseph residence or the Michelson residence or something like that. And then you put an inquiry on that sign, and it should read, for information on bidding for work on this job, send your email to at your email address. And then you'll get somebody requesting plans, architectural and engineered plans. Then you can send those plans to them with details about what you want them bid for. They can tell you what their particular skill set is. Make your footprint as soon as possible. Make it easier for people to find you. Make it easy for people to submit a bid for you. I can't begin to tell you how many owner builders just put a sign up, but they don't make it accessible. Either put a phone number, put an email up on the job site so that they can find you. Okay? Know where to look. This is a really important area when it comes to getting some bids, is knowing where to look for bids. My top choice is local builder associations. They typically have a website, and you can go to those websites and you can look at the list of subcontractors that they have in their association. It's a great resource. It is much better than you'll ever find on Google, much better than you'll ever find on Houzz, and much better than you'll ever find on Angie's List and all these other sites. The top place to find a subcontractor is an actual job site. So you can't be shy. Get out of your car when you see somebody framing, putting on a roof, doing some landscaping, something you don't have any skill set for, that you need to hire somebody for. Get out of your car and go talk with them and say, hey, I'm looking to hire somebody who does what you do. Can I send a bid to you, or do you have a boss I can contact number? Talk to them, ask them, get out of your car. The job site is probably the best place to find subcontractors. Of course, a job board is on a local builders association. That's probably second best right there. I have 2 warnings for you. I didn't want to leave without a couple of warnings today. Number 1, search engines really are the worst place to find subcontractors. Why is that? Well, if you're a plumber and you're in the service industry and your main job is to do fixes and repairs, you are going to market yourself online to get a lot of people to call you. Do not call that person for new construction. Service industry techs do not do new construction very well. They don't do it very often, and they don't know how to bid it. They are the worst people to call for bids on a new construction. Heating and air conditioning guys, plumbing, electricians, a lot of these people are service oriented. Even some roofing companies that do mainly just roofing repairs are some of the worst places to call for bidding on new construction. They don't know the process, or they don't know how to bid it. It's a completely different beast. For example, plumbing, they rarely will dig in the dirt, but when it's new construction, they're going to be digging in the dirt quite a bit. So they're not going to be bidding that very effectively. So the point I'm getting at is the service industry, they're competing for top position on these search engines, not your subcontractors that are mainly focused on bidding new construction. So with that in mind, that's why I tell you go to job sites. That's why I tell you you need to go to local building association organizations, and even chambers of commerce, local BNI chapters, you name it, networking organizations that have different subcontractors in their group. They're a great resource. Okay. Last warning. I don't mind to belabor this and make this a long post, but this is very, very important. Know your market. For example, if you are in a high construction area, your piece rate for building is going to be much different than in a low build construction area. For example, if you live in a rural area and there may have 2, maybe 3 homes in the entire county go up every year, versus in my neck of the woods, I'm in one of the top 5 fastest growing cities in America. Been that way for quite some time. A lot of construction's going on down here, but not nearly as much as up north from me. Here's an example. I was building up in Park City last summer. My per square foot cost for framing was north of $26. Down here where I'm building, down here in the southern part of the state, it's around $8 a square foot. So for a 2,500 square foot home, that's roughly $45,000 in difference between hiring a framer up north and hiring a framer here locally. Now, if I was up north, I'd put my noggin on and I'd say, hey, I want to hire some of those framers from down south. I'll put them up in a hotel for a week and a half, and I'd still come out ahead of myself. A lot of really experienced builders know this, especially in the commercial arena where they've got some big projects. They'll pull labor from different parts of the country to come and build a project. A lot of residential builders, contractors don't really stretch out that far. I would recommend you do. Think about it. If you are in a high market area where there's a lot of demand, think about going into a different market. Call up some framers in a different county, maybe 2 or 3 counties away, and just find out. You may find out what I found out, that it was a $45,000 difference in per square foot price in framing a home. That's a huge savings. I mean, that's a lot of money. I have a student in California, and this student is struggling with finding framers because they're bidding around $36, $37 a square foot. And that's something that my student wasn't prepared for. And now the market is being expanded further out into the state, in the middle section part of the state, to try to find a framer who can bid within the budget that they're looking for. Anyway, you can find some great bids, make a big footprint, find the great places to find subcontractors. One thing to keep in mind that a lot of the great subcontractors are word of mouth. They don't have a presence online. They're not fighting for great recommendations on Angie's List or Yahoo or whatnot. They're just basically word of mouth. You're going to have to find those resources. Go to lumber yards, go to supply houses, network, make your footprint big, talk, make it easy to access yourself, and know your market. I hope that helps you out. I could talk forever on bidding, But keep in mind, the more you network and the more you sit down and make phone calls and call and get yourself out there, you are really going to know your market, and you're probably going to know it much better than a lot of general contractors who typically, and I hate to say this because I am one, but they can be lazy and they may not be researching as much as you are. So do your due diligence and do your best.